Hi guys, it's Claire's and welcome to this really quick tutorial with me. This is going to be sort of like a part two to the previous video that I did regarding the flat brush florals using gouache. In this video, we are going to be using gouache. So I've got some on my palette here by ZenART. And then for the brushes, we're going to be using the Filbert number 6. And then the Silver Black Velvet number 4 for our finer details, or I'll just keep it handy. I think we can use the Filbert for everything really. And then for our paper, I'm going to be using these really cute little postcards by Etchr. It is watercolor postcards. They are 100% cotton and they are beautiful to use for little projects like this. And then I've got water ready, and yes, so we're going to start off by mixing the color. And before I get into mixing the color, I just want to really quickly say, if you are new to my channel, or if like this is your first video that you're watching of mine, please know that I put out mainly watercolor floral videos, so please be sure to check those out. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Please consider subscribing to the channel as well, as it really does help me put out more videos for you guys. So we're going to start off by mixing some white and some cerulean blue on here. And I want the consistency to be fairly thick, so I've got a little extra white along with a tad bit of cerulean. And what we're going to use this is, what we're going to use this for is pretty much going to be the background. So we're going to paint a very rough background on here. And I have introduced a third brush here just so we can paint this in, because these two brushes are too small to kind of use as a paintbrush really for this purpose. So I'm using my Princeton number 8 for this. And I'm just going to move this out of the way so the screen gets a tad bit brighter for you guys, and we're going to start. So I'm going to do this in a vertical manner, and I'm just going to paint rough strokes just like this. So you can see how I'm getting that nice dry strokes in between. Seems like there's, what's the word I'm looking for? Like there's less water on my brush, and so some white space in the center of my painting or my strokes are kind of adding some nice texture to my flat lay here of color. So I'm just dipping the tip of my brush in water so I can extend this and have it going all the way down. Notice I'm not touching up a lot of what's already been done. If you want it to be a lot thicker, you can absolutely get some thicker looking, add more paint, and then that's how you would get it to be a lot thicker. But I went from thick at the top to more translucent in the bottom, and then I'm just leaving that rough stroke over here. So I'll just maybe try and take some paint from here if I can. Just spread it out a little bit, but not wholly necessary. Just now we're going to allow this to dry a bit, and then we're going to start doing our pretty flowers. All right, so this is dried up now, and we are ready to start our flowers. So for our flowers, I have my nice deep violet mixed on my shell palette here already. So I'm going to start off by using my Filbert number 6 Princeton, and we're going to start painting these florals. So much in the flat brush floral tutorial sort of way, just using a different sort of brush. So I'm getting my color directly from here. And as soon as I start painting, I am going to zoom in so you guys can see better. All right, so I've zoomed in, and we're going to start off by painting a couple of flowers. I'm going to start from the bottom, and then we're going to go up. So here we go. So I'm just pressing down the full belly of the brush, doing one on each side, one stroke on each side, then maybe even a tinier one there. And then I'm going to get some more color, and then we're moving on to doing the side petals. in a pretty similar fashion, and you can kind of go in and try and make them more organic shaped. Then finally I am doing another petal kind of outward over here. Now the nice thing about the Filbert is that you can use these, you can use the roundness of this brush to create some really pretty organic shapes for your petals. So it looks like they're flowing in the wind, or just, you know, you get some really nice pretty shapes. So go for that and use it. I'm just kind of adding a little more detail to the center. At the end we're going to go in and add some yellow petals to, sorry, not petals, center to it. So I'll do another one over here, and then two to the side. So the whole concept is literally you're doing your main background petal, and then the other petals are kind of smaller and encompassing what we have. So really use the side of the brush, the full belly of the brush, try and get these little shapes in. It is so much fun to do, and quite pretty to look at the end. So that's pretty much it. So we've got these kinds. Now we can show, well, I'm going to show you how to do one that's kind of facing just upward. So we're doing the foreground petals first. Just getting a little bit of water on my brush. So foreground petals, and then again we're doing the exact same side petals. And then for the background petals, we're just kind of going to add a little bit of a, almost like you're drawing in the border a little bit. So I'll do one there, and I'm going to do one here. So again, you play around with this and kind of see what works for you to create these. And if you have different variations of purple happening, that would be really pretty too. And try and control the sizing as well. But essentially, yep, this is the whole tutorial on these really easy flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up and then get back to you so we can finish off with green leaves and such. So next thing we're going to do is get some yellow, and I'm using the Filbert again, but feel free to use your number 4 or something else with a finer tip if that is more to your comfort. So I'm getting some of that yellow, and the area at the bottom has dried up. So I'm going to go ahead and start painting these ones. So here we go. So I'm just using the side of the brush, and I'm doing these little lines, trying to leave a little bit of space in between. Now I do realize some of the blue is, you can see some of the blue through this, and that's okay. We're kind of going for a nice artsy look here. So I think at the background petal there, I will do longer lines. I am doing longer lines, and then at the, for the, as we kind of close up this circle or oval, I'm just going to do tinier, smaller dots, or try to do that. So again, it's all about controlling the shapes that you're doing. It's easier with the side of the brush to create little lines, right? And then it's harder to do little dots with this. So like I mentioned earlier, you can absolutely use a regular smaller brush, like a regular round brush is what I mean, and achieve the same sort of results, but maybe in a more controlled manner. So see what suits you and go with that. So I'm just going to make this a time lapse as well, so that we're not spending too much time going over something that you've probably already got the hang of. All right, so this is what it looks like so far. And now we can either continue using the number 6 to create the leaves, or we can switch over to the number 4. I'm going to show you both. So here's me getting some of the green. And again, I say kind of use the green or go with the colors that you, I guess, works for you best. I'm kind of using what I like, so that's why I'm not kind of telling you the names of the colors. So use something similar if you want, or go with something that you prefer. So using the side of this brush now, I am going to first draw in the stems. So I'm using the side to kind of draw these stems. Okay, that's way too much water. So I'm going to make sure you don't have too much water. I have a fat stem there, but you know what? Maybe I could make it a leaf. Maybe. Let's just see. So make sure you've taken off all the water from your brush. Otherwise you're going to get a fat stem, which you don't really want. You want your stems to look nice and cute and thin. I'm just joining all of them here nicely. We've got one here, and then just maybe one here. Okay, so now we can move on to do the leaves. And so for the leaves, let me get a little bit more of the green from the side here. And I'm just going to create leaves like sticking out from here. But what I think would work and be really good right now is to add a little bit of yellow to our leaves, just so that it stands out against the deep purple. So that's what I'm going to do really quickly. And let's just see how that works. So yeah, for the leaves, I'm just using the side of my brush and creating these tiny little leaves here and there. I'm going to do one here as well, because remember I said that doesn't look too good, so I'm going to make it a leaf. Here we go, made it a leaf. So just very tiny strokes to kind of create this this sort of leaf. So you can see the leaves over here for this have a very rounded edge, and they're quite easy to do because it's literally just one stroke and you're done. So you can kind of switch your sheet around and kind of continue creating these all around. See, the thing is, when you know you've had a happy accident, it kind of constantly bothers you until you do something about it. So I know I said we'll try the other brush to show you the other kinds of leaves that you can do. So I'm going to switch out of this just so we don't have too many leaves happening. But one last thing I want to show you is here's how you can kind of extend into a another branch or stem or whatever you want to call it using the side of your brush, and then draw in your leaves or paint in your leaves. And I like to turn my page a little bit so I can get it in the direction of the stem. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I'll just do some tinier ones kind of popping out so it doesn't look random. And then we can even do one here. Again, using the side of my brush. This is all using the side of my brush. It's cute, it's fun, it's easy to do. You can do little cards like this. Now I'm going to switch my brush. So I've switched out my brush to the number 4, and we are going to do the same thing. And I'll try and get a different variation of green by just mixing a little bit more green to what we've had. And again, these are simple to do, especially if you've watched any of my previous videos. You know, you're just using the tip of your brush to draw in the line. or the stem, and then you're doing little stem extensions, and you're painting your brush in by using the tip of your brush, and then pressing down and kind of trailing off. That is the technique. I'll just do one big one here because it looks like this one's gotten a little bit thicker, and then some trailing off, giving this a slight bit of a twirl over there so it looks a little bit fancy. And I will do some over, so we've done some straight or pointed edge leaves here. Let's do one here. Now I'm using a number 4. If you want thinner leaves, feel free to use like a number 2 or a 1 even. I'll leave that up to you guys. So I'm mixing a little bit more yellow into this to get some more variety here for our leaves. So you can do like singles. I kind of prefer to do my leaves in 3s for some reason. And I'll just do some on this end here as well, popping out from some of the flowers. These can be really fun to do, and then you pretty soon you find yourself doing so many. So I would say try and see if you can control going willy-nilly with the leaves. I'm going to do this little twirly bit at the top and add some of these leaves in there. And then maybe even add some tendril type of detail coming out from here. That's one way to kind of add these leaves in, right? Make it fun. Just adding some at the bottom as well. Perfect. Okay, so I'm really liking this. I think one last enhancement, if you really wanted to do something, I think would be to add more green strokes or details on the inside to make it look a little more fuller, if you wanted to, and if you don't, that's okay. And what I'm doing is going in with a different green and just kind of adding some details, going over some of these leaves to kind of make it look like there's two tones happening, because you know I like my two-tone stuff. Adding more detail in a loose manner. Kind of trailing off as well with some loose looking brush strokes. Maybe even add some details here. So really, I've given you a couple of different ideas. Try and do this, make this your own composition. Mine is a vertical pattern. If you want to make it a horizontal pattern, that would be a nice challenge for you to sort of try, especially if you're new to gouache or watercolor. Mind you, this will work with both mediums. So yeah, have fun with this. I'm going to add a couple of dots here and there to kind of make it seem like berry elements and fun little shapes. Fun little shapes, because we've got thin long leaves, we've got nice little round dots, we've got the organic leafy type shapes, not leafy, petal type shapes for the florals. So we've got quite a few, a mixture of a good amount of shapes on here, which is what I like to see in most of my paintings. And I think we are almost done. I think this should be good enough. Yeah. There we go. I think that's great. I'm gonna do a nice close-up of it so you guys can see that. So here's a close-up of it. So we've got this nice pretty blue background, and then we've got these deep purple florals right on top of that using the Filbert brush, and then nice little detail for the leaves and such. So hope you guys like this. Let me know in the comments what you thought. If you do end up doing this, I'd love to see the work, so please tag me on Instagram or on Facebook. My Instagram handle is at HelloClariceG. And if you like this video, guys, please consider hitting the like button and also subscribing to my channel, as I put out a lot of other videos of a similar fashion. Watercolor, gouache, mostly florals, but fun stuff. So have fun with me by joining in for all the paint sessions. And thanks again for watching, guys. Bye.